Good evening, everyone. Welcome to a special Saturday edition of Nerd Night Roundtable with me, Sci-Fi with Dan. How you doing, Dan?
Pretty good. Still alive and kicking.
That's always good.
How about you, Resolute Germ?
Unfortunately, I had to work overtime today, and there was no survivors.
Well, in this economy, you need every cent you got.
Yeah. And hello, Jim's Landscaping LLC, #1 Commodore Productions. How you doing, Jim?
And we have a gorilla in the chat. Gorilla, there's a link in Resolute Germ's Twitter chat if you are able to come up. Hey, the Drew 24.
And hi, Drew. Welcome.
I think it's coming through my link.
Yeah.
I'm doing a collaboration with Resolute Germ today, the Drew 24. And he's allowing it, a cross stream.
Yeah. Yeah, cross streaming is never a problem. If anything, it counts toward mine on Linux as well. For some reason.
Well, everyone is having supper.
Yeah. Skies have finally cleared. Oh, that's good news, Gorilla.
Judging by how long it takes Gorilla to have supper, it'll probably about 45 minutes at least.
Yeah, a good half hour, 45 minutes. He'll still probably has to put down the kid.
Yeah, then he'll make a wisecrack from me just saying how long it may take him to make dinner.
Yeah, for that he'll probably just shove it all in his mouth and be up here in 5 minutes.
And I'm like, oh, hi, Sci-Fi Daniel. I know how to make supper just fine. I know how to shove it in my mouth just like a gorilla and chew it nice and fast or nice and chunky to make people want to throw up.
And hey, Brandon, welcome.
Hello, Brandon. Yeah, he's a Looney Tunes fan. Hey, Brandon, if there's a link in Resolute Germ's friend chat, but then you're not in his friend group, so it probably will be hard for you to get a StreamYard's link.
He should be.
And there is Gorilla's wisecrack right there.
He can get on a plane to slap you. Okay. Here's a good use of $400.
So, what subject do you want to talk about since we're up here?
Any subject you like.
Well, you're the host. I'll let you go ahead.
Well, for one, I'd like to acknowledge the passing of Donald Sutherland. Great actor.
Yeah, also known as oddball to the ones that are in the 70s or 60s age range that played in that 1960s movie, I think it was. I don't know the name of it, but I do know the name of the character he played named Oddball.
And the original Hawkeye Pierce.
Yeah, the one I'm thinking about, it had him and Clint Eastwood in it, if I'm thinking correctly. Yeah, I gotta say, he was a great villain in the Hunger Games movies. I've seen clips on his scenes on YouTube. He played a good villain in those movies.
Yeah, he did okay. I only watched the first one of those. I had no interest in the rest, but from what I saw of him, he was okay.
Jeez, it's like Clint Eastwood is one of those old timers, and well, I don't want to be a cynic to say, but he's up there in years and he's still around somehow. Clint Eastwood is.
Yeah. And Jeff Pearlson. Welcome. My first chat from Rumble. Good to see that paying off. Even though it is a pain in the ass to get it going. I figured out what Gorilla's problem was with that too. You have to make it twice. For some reason, Rumble wants you to make it through Rumble, and then you have to make it through StreamYard.
That's how they get you, it seems.
Yeah.
Tell me, do you have to pay through Rumble as well, or is it free?
Oh, Rumble's completely free. You have to have, I think, like 5 subscribers on there to stream.
Mm.
And they may have even lifted that. And hey, low specs Linux laptop. Oh, that's you on Rumble. I guess we know your name now. Funny, you don't seem like a Jeff. Those random flap the force out of it.
What is that actor's name again?
Donald
That passed?
Sutherland.
I'm trying to look him up to see what history he has roughly.
Not to be confused with Kiefer Sutherland, which is his son. But Invasion of the Body Snatchers, MASH, Hunger Games. Those are the only ones that I remember offhand. But he's done quite a lot of stuff.
And he was in the Dirty Dozen for what I hear. Or read on Wikipedia. And now that they cut his scenes out in that movie.
That seems right.
And he was in horror movies like Castle of the Living Dead that was made in 1964. And then Dr. Terror, House of Horrors in 65.
He's in Pride and Prejudice, too. Yeah, someone had to make that.
I'm trying to find the movie he's in that I'm thinking of. Where he played Oddball. Hold on, what's the name of that movie he's in? Damn it.
Yeah, that's not really ringing a bell.
I have to look in his filmography then. Let's see here. No.
Oh yeah, he was in The Italian Job.
Well, maybe Jim knows which movie I'm talking about if he's still watching. Where with Donald Sutherland, he plays a tank and oddball tank command shooter in a World War II era with Clint Eastwood. Maybe Jim knows which one I'm talking about, unless he hasn't seen that movie as well. Oh, now I see. It was called Kelly's Heroes. It was in the 1970s.
Why you, Jim? Poor gorilla can't spell F-U.
Well, he probably does not want to get his chat taken down for being a bad boy.
Oh no, F-U is perfectly fine. As
I'm
far as
just
the curse words they automatically filter out, I don't know how to stop that.
I'm just teasing Gorilla, and he knows it. Hmm. I got. Tell me, do you think his son was just as good of an actor as he was, or do you think Donald Sutherland was a better actor than his son from the movies you've seen both of them in?
Technically, Donald Sutherland is the better actor, but I like the stuff Kiefer was in more.
Yeah, I
Because
would say that. Yeah,
one of the
and
only vampire movies I like is Lost Boys.
I'm more familiar with Keith Sutherland myself because I've seen some of his um 2000s movies era. I never seen the Lost Boys, and and here's you and Gorilla saying, "Oh, you haven't seen it? You should see it. It's a classic."
Yep, but my fat finger's getting in the way. That's okay. The keyboard wasn't designed for a gorilla.
They can always make one, but it'll cost a pretty penny to make a gorilla-sized computer for Gorilla.
Yeah. As far as the 2000s go, I think one of Kiefer's best was Phone Booth. And he's primarily just a voice actor in that one. But he's the guy on the phone with the sniper rifle, torturing, forget what the Irish guy's name is.
Yeah, and he played a crooked banker, from what I hear. I haven't seen the movie, but from the character he plays, he played a crooked banker, wasn't it? The actor that played that character.
I think a talent agent, a publicist, something like that. Because he's trying to sleep with an actress.
Did you ever see the TV show called The Designated Survivor?
I saw the first season of that. Not bad, not good. Then I just never bothered catching up when season 2 came out.
How about 24 from Keith Sutherland? Have you seen that show?
Oh yeah, I saw the first 2, 3 seasons of it. But realistically, when they got rid of the one guy as president, it wasn't as interesting. And besides, he has one really, really bad day. You can't just keep having really, really bad days. Kind of gets monotonous at a point.
What other
He's
stuff?
in a whole lot of stuff.
His son or Donald Sutherland?
Both of them.
Wonder if they ever
They
get.
really working to pay dad a lot of bills or something, because they have a huge filmography. Both have a huge filmography.
I wonder if there was any overlap with them two.
Just a quick comparison. Nothing stands out, but as I said, there's a lot of stuff on both of them, so there might be something. That's something to actually look up. Donald and
Collaborate in movies or productions. I gotta say that Donner Sutherland's legacy lives on in his son.
Yeah.
Now the question is any of Sutherland's kids share the talent of the family as actors or have any presence in Hollywood to carry on their family legacy?
They're according to IMDb, they're both in Forsaken together.
Hmm.
That was 2015. Looks to be a Western. So that'd be something to check out.
Yeah, for what I hear in the Star Wars front, Ahsoka season 2 is happening. They released a trailer, unless at least what looks like a trailer.
Yeah. They're going to beat that dead horse until there's literally nothing left of it.
Yeah, I gotta say, I saw the trailer and I was uninterested in it, even as a Star Wars fan. I even left a comment in the trailer section. In the trailer section, it's like I said, I'm in so jaded with Disney Star Wars now that I'm very uninterested and I just don't care about Disney Star Wars anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of to a point where I can't bring myself to actually watch any of it.
At least I got the original saga to watch to enjoy, even though it's been years since I last seen it. But then I've seen all the movies so many damn times, I probably memorized all the dialogue in them.
Oh, yeah. Especially the original 3.
Yeah.
Try to forget a lot of the dialogue in the prequels, especially between Anakin and Padme.
That's
I
why
had more game than him in the freaking 7th grade than he did as a 19-year-old.
Yeah, I would say that Attack of the Clones. I mean, people say that one's better than The Phantom Menace. I disagree. It's the romance scenes that slows the movie to a crawl, and I hate that movie when there are scenes that make the movie feel like it's going on for 2 hours and it was going on for about 5 minutes.
Hey, Lundell, welcome. And when the next train wreck of a show is announced, you'll be right there to watch. Oh no, Miss Lundell, I am not watching any more of that shit.
And
I'm not watching Acolyte. I did not watch the final season of Bad Batch. And whatever else they come up with, I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
I got all the real Star Wars on DVD right now, so Disney and Disney Plus can go fuck itself.
To which they are, but then with all the big pocket backers, they can afford to screw themselves.
Infamous last words. People are gonna have to, if people want to force me to watch that stuff, they're gonna have to pay me.
And that's what I was gonna say. Everyone has their price.
Yeah.
In your case, it'll be pay me 10 years worth of pay on my day job, and I'll do it for you.
I don't know. Even Disney doesn't have that kind of money. But as far as something like that, I will admit I am cheap. So you can pay me episode by episode to watch the stuff, but I won't like it. But like most YouTubers, I am a cheap whore.
Are you just as cheap as Tony, or are you a little more expensive than he is?
Well, I do have my pride.
Well,
quite frankly, I'm not half in the bag.
well, I may have told you guys this, but I was able to get Tony to watch season 2 of Velma for only $1,000, and that was 10 episodes worth.
For how much?
$100 an episode.
That seems fair. $100 an episode. Say if you're making minimum wage, that's a day's work each time, which is fitting since you need to recover a day after watching that. Gorilla, I know that's an empty threat. Quite frankly, you don't have the cash.
Well, he's given a price range for each episode in the last comment he sent.
Well, Gorilla, if you can come up with $100, I'll binge watch it live.
My God. Irresolute Germ, you're worse than Tony, actually, you are.
That's okay. He can't come up with the first $10. He has 2 kids. All his money is already spoken for.
Yeah, especially with all his I'm not sure, was Gorilla ever married?
I'm not sure about that one.
Because he has 2 kids, not sure if he had them with his girlfriends and then they broke up with him so he can pay alimony or something happened. I'm talking shit out of my ass. I'm theorizing, though.
Oh, you'll have to ask him sometime. But I'm not sure. I just know he has 2 young kids, and those are kind of like black holes for money and time.
Yeah. And we as kids, we don't know that because we're so naive, and yet when we turn into adults, then we know how much things really cost.
Yeah. When you get to that certain age and like you get your first part-time job and you look at it and you're in shock, your parents are over there laughing at you. Oh, you thought you were going to have money for all like video games and candy and whatever crap you wanted, kid. Nope. By the way, you owe me half of that in rent.
Yeah, I pay about half my check to rent to my mother each month.
Mexican roulette.
Wow.
Well, I guess that's better than Russian roulette.
So basically, he got hammered, and someone put a projectile in front of him, and he pulled the trigger.
I'm not quite sure what he means by Mexican roulette. But if you look at his bank account, Russian roulette may have been a better option. That's 1 in 6 chance you blow your brains out. The kids are 100% chance.
Yeah, the thing about kids is that you both love them and hate them at the same time.
Well, yeah, they're little, they stink, they're annoying, but you're not going to live forever. So you got to have one. It is literally built into your DNA that, hey, let's go make a little person.
Have you seen the TV show Married with Children?
I own it.
So we're all out bunding because we know how we feel whenever we pay bills then, especially now.
Oh, yeah. Fortunately, though, we don't all have a worthless redhead at home who couldn't identify the stove if her life depended on it.
Yeah, and there's also that one episode later, I think it's the last season, where Al goes to hell and it's like, this is heaven, because hell's my life. If hell's like this in my afterlife, this is heaven for me.
Yeah. And the devil has to just give up. The one man he couldn't break, because his life was already so crap.
Yeah, but that sort of works actually, because if your life is worse than hell and you're sent there, you're used to it.
Well, in his case, it was a reprieve. At least those he cared for the most were there to suffer just as he was. And that was the real joy for him. Even the Darcys were there. As long as he can share the pain with everybody, he's okay with it.
Yeah, and he doesn't have to go to a shoe shop every day to see giant women's feet.
Yeah, that's one reason I never got into sales.
Yeah, but
I
then,
had my tendency to curse at people.
yeah, and to be a salesman, you gotta be able to lie through your teeth and always put a nice charm on it. The charm offensive. Oh, and if you read Grill's last comment, he wants you to check X.
Okay, Gorilla. Let's see if I just do that.
What is Gorilla actually talking about, if you're able to let me know?
I'll show you in a second here. He is talking about this. I did not receive hawk toe from that woman.
I may not have that sense of humor because I don't get it. Unless it's talking about Clinton having an affair with a secretary. If so, then then I kind of get it.
Yeah, that's what it's referring to.
Oh, so you're a She-Ra fan?
Oh yeah, I found this on one of the Bing searches. Has She-Ra in a Horde outfit.
Yeah, I've seen a few, about half of the She-Ra series on reruns on Antenna TV.
Yeah, it's a pretty good Saturday morning Well, it's a weekday cartoon, actually.
Yeah, but people say,
Unfortunately, it came at a bad time.
yeah, if what people say, this She-Ra TV show actually killed the He-Man brand.
I think more the fact that they kept showing He-Man episodes along with the new She-Ra episodes, but they had already canceled He-Man.
Yeah, we could check it.
Excuse me for a moment.
Oh yeah, no problem. Hawk Toe Lady. Oh, this is gonna be bad. Saw the clip.
98 2 tires.
Yeah, to all you older folks out there, including you, Resolute Germ, I may be young, but I've seen a lot of old TV shows on reruns on Antenna TV.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about antenna TV. People can see all this old stuff.
Yeah, but nowadays people have satellite TV or cable. No, cable is extinct, ain't it? Basically.
Cable used to be a thing. Now the only time I see cable is at work or at a airport.
Seems like that the only ones that survived are satellite TV and antenna, since they rely on satellites or other antenna signals from other towers. Unless antenna is becoming more and more rare as well, and there's just going to be satellite TV only.
Yeah. If you have cable, if you have internet, you usually just dish the cable because you can get most of that through your normal internet.
Yeah, and at our house, I have a lot of movies, but I just watch the movies online nowadays, usually, though.
Yeah. I'd say I got a couple hundred DVDs around here. If I can't find something online, I probably already own it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a lot of people, and well, there is another version of cable, but it's not the ground. People say that the entertainment platforms we use are gonna become our new cable channels. Sort of like if you have YouTube, that's gonna be one of your channels. Then Rumble, that's gonna be another channel, and then then others, that's gonna be your new online cable service. In other words,
Yeah, like the streaming services, you have to bundle them all together to get stuff. But if you know how to skirt certain things, you can watch everything without going overboard.
yeah, just go to other websites that have this stuff, even though it may not be um illegal to do. How should I say it like that?
Yeah. But there's a lot of stuff they just don't have on streaming.
That's why you gotta go to other sources usually.
Yeah. Either that or dig up a 90s era VHS. Because even like on YouTube, where they have episodes, they have like the Men in Black cartoon. Not available, legitimately available. It's on YouTube, but that's just a fan copy.
Oh, and there is another website that I use. If you are ever on my watch parties on the Transformers Prime TV show, I usually use that website to watch my cartoons. Not sure if that's the legal way or the illegal way, though.
Yeah, whatever you have to do, though. A lot of the legal options aren't really functional.
Yeah, I can show you. I can send you a link in the private chat. See, unless you know what I'm talking about already.
Right, yeah, I know the sites you're talking about. Yeah, it's not one of them I use, but I got several others. I'm
Yeah,
still looking for a plate that has a good copy of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes cartoon.
well, you gotta search through every rock and every streaming service to see if they have it. Sometimes you have to,
Yeah.
or
Oh,
just
they're not
find.
on. Yeah, not on any streaming service. Has to be on the high seas somewhere. The only copies I've seen are very, very grainy copies from. They obviously got off of a VHS that was sitting in a closet for years.
Yeah, I myself, I watch some cartoons still, but I watch them as an adult. I watch the mature episodes that go into subjects that handle adult subjects. I don't go into the kiddie episodes anymore. I mean, I find them amusing somewhat, but I find them just annoying as hell for the more kiddie episodes. I mean, every cartoon is a children's show, but then if you're an adult and you find the certain episodes in that certain cartoon, you can find some pretty dark, actually, episodes in that cartoon series are very mature subjects in some of those episodes, and I do like those that do the mature subjects.
Yeah, they're good for nostalgia, but binge watching all the way through them, if like it had 3 or 4 seasons. Say if you tried that with something like the original Muppet Babies, you'd drill a hole in your head.
Yeah, then if that were the case, then you just gotta try to skim through the whole episode list, see which ones do you remember or which ones you like, and then watch those online or through the physical copies you got at home.
Yeah. Yeah, then you just pick and choose like which ones you want to highlight and
Which ones
just
you
get
want?
those out there. Yeah.
Mm.
And thankfully, I am not finding any context for that
Meme.
Hawktow girl. Yeah, just a bunch of stupid memes.
Yeah, I mainly am into anime now. I mean, are you into anime at all, even as an adult, or do you not really care for anime?
Oh yeah, there's several shows that I'm watching currently.
Yeah. Oh, have you ever heard of that time I got reincarnated as a slime?
Watching that now.
So am I. It's a good show.
I believe
Do
I'm
you,
like maybe 2 or 3 episodes behind on the new season of that one.
do you watch the dub version or the subbed version of that first off?
Usually if I wait around maybe 2 or 3 weeks, they'll build up some of the dub version.
Because I watch both actually.
Yeah. If they don't have a dub available, it's fine, but I prefer the dub because I hate reading the subtitles. A lot of places, they don't even sync up.
Yeah, well, the third season is more into world building. If I watch a world building episode, I would just watch it only once, and I will just not rewatch the world building episode unless I have to. Unless you like world building episodes.
Oh, they're good for the start off, but there's no need to really go revisit it. The actual. Is this safe for YouTube?
Do you know the
No,
fella that's putting the stuff in your chat? Do you know the fella?
that is low specs.
Is he usually a good man and not a troll?
Yeah, he's a good guy. I'm not sure if I want to know this or not.
Well, just don't show it on YouTube then.
Yeah, let's.
Like, if it's safe, you can show it on YouTube. If not, you may want to check it out in the background first off, see what it is.
Yeah, preview. There is context, but not actual bad language. Okay. Oh, you posted that in Rumble. I'm not seeing it in the YouTube chat.
So, besides slime, what other anime are you into? I mean, I like slime because I like the action and world building, but if it gets too much bogged down in filler and world building, then it gets kind of boring for me, and I would just watch the episode that comes out just once, and then I won't revisit it.
Well, there's several.
Yeah, I will.
Remonster. That's this season. That's been pretty good. They're a little overpowered, but they make up for with the storyline. You ignore the fact that there's no way in hell anyone's beating them.
Yeah, from what I hear, that the source material that is actually older than slime.
Oh yeah, it's I believe that's older than even. I think 5 years old, 5 to 6 years old.
Yeah, I would say that it's the third season of Slime. It starts off somewhat slow, but then there's a huge payoff in like 3 episodes after the setup episodes happen, and those are good episodes. If you have gotten that far and know what I'm talking about in season 3. If not, then I was spoiling the hell out of it for you.
Yeah, last episode I saw, I believe it was the king had just given up his power to, I think it was his brother.
Mm-hmm. So you're about well, you're a few weeks behind in season 3 because I'm watching the sub version. I'm on Slime season 3, episode 12, and of the episode that came out yesterday. That episode was okay, but it's mainly world building. That episode is.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm probably like 3 or 4 weeks behind on that.
Yeah, I'll probably. Well, if you don't mind spoilers, I can spoil it for you. But if you want me to keep my mouth shut about it, I'll keep my mouth shut.
Okay, that is. I watched the link. That's not worth seeing.
And Gorilla, if everything is settled down on your end, you could go ahead and come on up on the panel to join us if everything is all settled down on your end.
Yeah, feel free, girl.
I mean, it'll get pretty boring pretty soon, just 2 people talking, because it will run out of subjects to talk.
Yeah, pretty quickly. Once we get through the anime, I got no backup. Did you watch Jobless Reincarnation season 2 part 2?
No, I watched the season 1, but then I lost interest. And when season 2 came out, because I like to binge watch it a lot. And they split the core of season 2, which I really don't care for when they split the cores.
Yeah,
I like to watch the season to binge it.
yeah. That can be fun for some of the older stuff. I'll With the
Yeah,
newer stuff, I'll go maybe 2 or 3 episodes at a time.
yeah. The one question I have is that which one of the source material is older? Is it the monster one that's older, or is it the jobless one that's older? Or are they about did they come up at the same time?
I'm not sure. Remonster looks like it was from 2011. At least that's what Wiki's saying. They released the light novels.
Tell me, do you collect the light novels of the anime you watch, or do you not really do that or read
No, I
them?
don't. I don't really have a lot of books around here. I have a whole bunch of stuff on Audible.
Because I'm trying to look up when Slime came out, roughly. Well, if you want to go by the Japanese date, it came out in 2014. If you want to go by the English translation version, it came out in 2017 for Volume 1 of Slime for a light novel. But then again, there was a web novel version of Slime that came out earlier, probably though.
Yeah. And Jobless Reincarnation looks like that light novel came out in 14. So
So Monster is the
yeah,
oldest then.
yeah. Wonder why it took so long to get an anime adaptation.
Probably was the rights and find the right company to do the artwork for it too, and to see which storytellers, which actors to pay for, and all that. And if the author wants to um, outsource his material for the studio to do a animated series for it.
Yeah.
Have you
And it
ever
does have a
heard?
little bit of conflict with Goblin Slayer. I don't think if those two are both running in the same season, that people may just not watch Remonster.
Yeah, I find it. Well, some of the characters are kind of boring. I fast forward through some of the episodes sometimes. I mean,
Yeah,
call that cheating, but hey, sometimes the boring parts are boring. I skip to the stuff I like.
yeah, they're too overpowered. They need something in there that's just at least close.
Yeah, and that's not gonna happen at the rate they're going in that world.
Yeah, I don't think Remonster is going to get a season 2.
At least for a while.
Yeah, maybe
But
when
then
the
again,
hype got, because they had a lot of hype when it first came out, but then it died down a bit. People aren't
well,
saying it's a bad show, but they're just not paying attention as they were.
I think the reason why is because there's another anime that's basically eclipsing its popularity, and that's Slime, I think, mostly too, and Jobless one that's taken up most of the hype of that show. Because when you think about it, Slime is pretty damn popular, and so is Jobless, and then people don't really know much about Monster.
Yeah, Slime is definitely popular. They even got the movie released over here, which is a pretty big accomplishment for an anime. Get a theatrical release for the movie, even if it was Phantom Events.
Tell me
As
how,
far as
tell me
as
how
far
come
go,
tell me how come
go.
do we as cartoon fans actually now like anime more than US cartoons nowadays? Why?
Well, it's just a matter of effort. Current Western animation, they're not putting in any effort, sort of like they're doing with sci-fi and pretty much everything else they're making over here.
Yeah, plus if you ever seen Titans Go, that crappy show, from what I hear, it has bad lessons to teach kids.
I never watched a single episode of that crap. They canceled the original Teen Titans in favor of that piece of shit show because it was cheaper.
And you just hit the nail on the head. It's cheaper to put in no effort or hardly any effort. That's why.
Yeah, cheaper and it's easier to convince the little let's face it, the retarded kids that this is good stuff.
Yeah,
If you show them Teen Titans Go or Thundercats Roar, Steven Universe, it turns their already feeble jelly-like minds into a pureed paste of stupid.
yeah, I really don't watch any cartoon on Disney Network anymore. I used to watch them back when they were good, like or watch them online or at some of my relatives actually had that channel available. I watched Teen Titans a few times on TV, and then a few others, and those were good shows too back in the early 2000s. Those were good shows. They had good moral lessons in those TV shows too.
Yeah. They don't want good moral lessons anymore. They want buy our cheap crap, and this rainbow flag here is more important than the cross. Or whatever your religious iconography is. They will spit on whatever you believe in and hand you this communist multicolored piece of crap. It's all well and good to respect people, but I'm not converting to your fruity little religion that is based primarily on Marxism.
Yeah, and the sad part is that that's becoming the new so-called religion nowadays. It is.
Yeah.
But then again, what does religion have to offer that the Marxism is filling the void for, though? What does it offer?
Well, religion can offer a whole lot. That's why they have a secular version.
Yeah, but then here's the kicker. Like, from what I hear, all that stuff is the popularity is going down, but then all this new neo-Marxist stuff is becoming more and more popular. People are more and more so-called converting and become religious followers, and then the old religions are dying out or losing followers. So how can they attract new followers?
Get back on brand. No more peace, love, and tolerance bullshit. Just this is what we believe. If you do this, you're a heretic. If you don't like that, we're okay going back to a crusade.
Yeah, what's missing is right now is we've been at peace for so long that there's no big large threat to. Well, I hate to sound. The power of a common enemy works wonders to unite people, and
Yeah,
we don't
that's
have
true.
that anymore. We don't have that anymore, if at all. I mean, we had that in the 2000s with um, the war against the people that did not like us very much. That happened in 2001,
Yeah.
but then that died down. Now it's mostly
It's okay.
dead.
They still. Oh, that's just what the media likes to tell you. The truth is, they still don't like us. They really don't like us. They're happy to come over here and live the Western dream, get benefits and work and make money and send it back to their home while they're calling you racist pigs and infidels and everything all the time over here.
In public or in private?
In public.
Yeah, they probably say it in their native language to not tell us what the hell they're talking about in our language.
They do that too, but I've had some get upset that, oh, you're eating a BLT. That's not haram. You shouldn't do that in front of me.
And this is you. Shut up. I'm eating what I want and buzz off.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but then this is them complaining to the human resources. Yeah, Resolute Germ, please come to the human resources. We have a complaint for you.
I'm sure if that happened at work.
Say that again.
I'm sure if that happened at work, that would be a human resources thing, but I'm talking just out in general public.
And yet they say they want to escape their Middle Eastern problems, yet they don't. They bring them over here.
Well, that's what you get when you don't integrate. The whole purpose of immigration is you live in a bad place. I want to go to a good place. Leave the bad stuff there. Learn the good stuff. Your culture was crap. That's why you ran away.
Yeah, well, I would say that the first generation does not integrate at all, but then once they have kids, and their kids probably integrate more than their parents do, but then it depends on how the parents and the school system raises them to it.
That's how it used to be, yes. Quite frankly, around here, there's not a whole lot of second generation. They're coming over here, getting what they can get. The wife and kids, they're not coming over here. They're still back there. They get the money and the resources and whatnot. They're just here to work.
So you live near the Portland area, you said, roughly?
Seattle.
Mm. Yeah,
so I see it from all over the world.
Yeah, well, I'm more rural than you are, Resolute Germ, so my viewpoint may not be as open-minded as yours, but I do see a lot of things happen in my local town. I do see a lot more Middle Easterners in my area.
Yeah, we got a fair chunk up here, but there's almost 4 million people in this area, so we got a fair chunk of just about everything.
Yeah, well, I live in the Central Valley area, if you know where that is, in California, and it's a pretty quiet area, especially for a country boy myself. It's pretty quiet, and the Middle Easterners in my area, they're actually pretty nice. They are.
Well, that's good. You found some that are actually willing to integrate. But I'm not just talking Middle Easterners. Maybe the fact that I'm in a job heavy area, a high population area, but that's just most people coming from not here are here to take what they can get and go away.
Tell me, is it true that the immigrants are taking the jobs that we don't want as foreign citizens don't want? That's why there's so much unemployment with us, because now they have the jobs
No.
that we don't want, but someone has to do it, so some other part of the population has to take it up.
It's more that it's not that we don't want to do it, is that we won't do it at that price. They'll do it for sub minimum wage, which here is like $16.25. There are places that hire, I'll give you $10 an hour, but you're getting paid under the table. You're not paying taxes. You're not getting health insurance. You're not getting any of this other stuff that the government mandates that we pay. So they're saving $6.25 an hour plus benefits and paperwork time.
Yeah.
So it's just cheaper to hire them. There are Americans who would do the job, but a lot of us have this thing about not breaking labor law. A lot of us have existing problems with the government. We don't need to call attention to ourselves.
Yeah, and then there's the problem with they don't want to pay the minimum wage, and we need the minimum wage actually to try and make a living and survive in the economy, but they don't want to do that, it seems, from what you say.
Yeah, well, that too, and it's sort of keeps feeding itself. The people that are taking this under the table money, they're also applying for benefits, so they'll get like food stamps, housing assistance on top of the money they're making under the table, which raises the tax, which causes inflation, which raises the prices on housing and food and all sorts of stuff, which increases the benefits. And it keeps feeding on itself.
Tell me, do you guys have a housing problem up there like we do here in California?
Oh, yeah. That's why a crap hole apartment that I live in is just under $1,300.
Yeah, well, either we're not building houses fast enough, or we just don't, or our local officials just don't care, and they just pocket the money for absorbent amounts of rent or property taxes, which is the second option is probably more likely, and just stay in the obvious.
It's a numbers issue. There are more heads than we can fit into houses. We don't have room to build more houses unless you want to pave over the place and make it look like Coruscant from coast to coast.
Or, well, yeah, or, well, you kind of said the solution. I mean, but then you cram a lot of people in 50-story buildings with houses like that, and there you go, housing crisis averted. But then, how does that work usually, though?
No, it doesn't work because you're continuously building. You expand housing, you expand highways, you take away the natural resources. Like they bought up a whole bunch of farmland to build low-income housing.
Yeah, but my point
is... And then they're surprised that the output for farming drops.
Yeah, but my point is, Germ, whenever I think about housing, I always think, you know what, if I ever win the lottery by some miracle, I probably could use all the money, just build a huge apartment complex, like 10 stories high, build like 10-story houses like that, apartment housing, do that, then just rent it out to families that actually want to live there. Then there you go. high density housing right there, holding 10 families.
Yeah, that could work.
Well, that's sort of
Maybe.
that's sort of what I'm trying to get at. If the space is limited, then you got two options: either tear down the low income housing areas and refurbish them into high density urban areas, or plow down more farmland to make more low income housing.
That, or you can control the number of heads you're actually trying to house.
There's too much money involved when it comes to that, so they really don't care as long as the money flows in. I would say that if it gets worse enough, they probably would just tear down the low-income housing areas and just rebuild them into high-density areas and just shove a whole bunch of immigrant families in there to say, here, you want housing and we have a housing crisis? Here, we just made 10 high-density housing units that's able to hold about 1,000 families. Here, no, leave us alone.
And then it's welcome to Mega City 1. If those of you who aren't familiar, that's Judge Dredd. Both very good movies.
Yeah, but those are the two ways we're going at, though, Resolute Germ, it seems like. And if my way sounds extreme, but hey, look, if you have a population problem, you either stop the flow or you tear down housing and rebuild it into high-density areas to control the population housing crisis, or just plow down more farmland to create more local-income housing, which causes a food shortage, which will starve to death, and there's a food crisis, and then what do you do then?
So it's sort of a choose-your-own apocalypse adventure. Either everyone starves, you live in a freaking sci-fi dystopia, or you're all slaves.
Yeah, so which is the better poison, in other words, or the least evil option?
That's why I'm voting Comet 2024.
That's your guys' local area. I'm not familiar with that as not being in your state.
No, that's large rock hurtling towards the planet to solve all our problems.
Mm. Yeah, there's also another problem too. Like, all these immigrants are coming from war-torn countries or countries that don't have the right enough infrastructure to handle their population boom, so they're coming to other countries that have the stuff in place to sort of handle it. But then when they come here and we have overflow, then our system can't handle it. Then what do we do?
Well, we can always revisit what worked in the 18th and 19th century.
And that was large building projects, massive skyscrapers that it would hold a lot of people in them, called apartment complexes.
No, that was imperialism.
They did it in the 1920s and 30s, those massive building projects.
Yeah, but before that, the world was regulated by maybe 3 or 4 very large European empires. And it may have been brutal. It may have sucked for a lot of people, but it kept the globe spinning for 500 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now, well, we're getting into the political theme, but then we're just talking into it, but we're not mentioning names or parties, so we're just talking general themes here. Well, there's a new world order sort of popping up now. If you read certain YouTube sources, like or watch YouTube sources like I do, roughly, the Russian-China alliance is sprouting fruit, and
the BRICS nations.
Yeah, they're challenging us, and then they're developing what they call civilization states, basically to maintain their culture and an identity.
Yeah, which they actually care about. Russia, China, India, a lot of those BRICS nations, they care about their culture. The West has turned into something where our culture is solely connected to the GDP.
Well,
Our leaders don't give a shit about culture. They don't give a shit about people. As long as that GDP number keeps going up, no matter how many times they multiply the population, they love it. The GDP per capita is going into toilet, so everyone's poor, but the total is much, much higher. So they can convince themselves that, oh, the economy is growing.
yeah, that's sort of the sad part, that they say the economy is growing, yeah, but how is it growing? In bodies wise or in money wise, in other words?
Oh, it's a lot more money, but it's a lot less money per person. The GDP total can go up like 5%, but with a population growth of 10%, that really doesn't mesh out. Those are just generalized numbers. They ain't the exact numbers. But
Yeah,
GDP growth, population growth higher, it's a net loss per person.
yeah, well, Resolute Germ, like I said before, when it comes to this immigration problem, I told you my two options on what may happen, and you may disagree with them, but to me, that's how it looks like with the roads we're heading towards. And if I had to choose between one evil, I'd rather choose the dread option than the starvation option.
Yeah, between those two, that's probably the best. I prefer the Warhammer option.
Yeah, but then after saying that, people that are listening on all the platforms might call me a certain name on the right side, which I don't want to. I'm not.
That's okay. I get called that all the time. It stops having meaning after a while.
Yeah, but I just don't want people in the chat and on the platforms to get the wrong idea. But then again, people are so sensitive now, they probably will take my words out of context and just go with it anyway. Bullshit the way through it.
Yeah. Well, if they do that, fuck them. These are real issues, and real shit's happening.
Oh, then good night, Gorilla. It's too bad you weren't able to come up to say hi to us.
Yeah. Have a good night, Gorilla. Good luck with the sandbagging.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully those waters start receding.
And if not, then he has a nice lakeside property to do some fishing.
Yeah. And he can take a canoe to work. But getting off the political stuff, you just started your watch parties on Fridays, right?
Yes.
How's those going for you?
They're hit and miss when it comes to my review count. I usually just do the watch party. Seems like by myself now. I do a little comment, but then people, when they do the rewatch, if I say, "Why is this guy so silent?" But most of the time, what the hell is he watching and seeing? So they probably don't know what I'm doing in the watch parties after they watch them, or I finish up.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot easier with two people. I tried to make it, but fortunately, like this past Friday, I fell asleep. Just working too damn much.
Well, judging by how things are going, you probably are going to get a lot more days like that.
Yeah, and for the next couple of months, looking like until at least September. Then I have a vacation dropped in the middle of that. So.
To which you're going to say, "Thank you, God, I needed a vacation desperately."
Yeah. I will walk away July the 3rd. And hopefully I won't even think about that place for about 3 weeks.
Oh,
Then,
besides my
of
watch
course, I have to
party,
come back after that 3 weeks and everything's falling apart. And I have to spend another 6 weeks putting it all back together.
are you a manager? Is that why?
No, but for my little section of people, there's basically me and one other guy who is actually qualified to do that job. And there's a whole bunch of other people there that make our lives a living hell.
So basically, two people are just doing the whole work, and the other ones are just what's the term? I'm trying to be nice about it. They're slackers for a lack of a better term.
Uh, they try their hardest. It's just their hardest is kind of like our 15%.
Yeah, but that's how
But
companies usually are, though. There's always 10% doing all the work, and the rest are just dead weight. That may sound harsh, but that's how it is usually, from what I hear.
a lot of places, yeah. It wouldn't be so bad, but they keep asking the same questions over and over and over again. Don't you remember the last time I showed you this in detail for 20 minutes? It should take you 30 seconds to do. But you have to ask me every time it happens.
Yeah, I used to work for a company called PepsiCo, and I think I was probably one of the good workers that actually put in the effort, even though I did not like doing the labor in that job. I just did the job to get over with. Until some jackass cannot take a joke at work.
Did you have to quit because of a joke?
Yes.
Hopefully, it's a
That
good joke.
and I sort of violated the verbal agreement with my contractor, though, or my agency, though. And it wasn't the first time I violated the code.
Those codes aren't worth the paper they're printed on.
Yeah, and I did, and the way I saw it, like I had colleagues in that shift that actually they can handle the stuff I threw at them, and they threw some pretty good stuff at me back because I knew they can handle it.
Hell, if they fired everyone for telling off-color jokes like that, there'd literally be no one left at my job.
Well, when they throw shade at you and they throw shade back, and you throw shade back at them, they're able to handle it. In other words,
Yeah. For example, we have this one Cambodian guy. Pretty much every 10 words out of his mouth, he is cursing in at least 2 languages. And a lot of the stuff he's saying, if an HR director heard him, they'd have a heart attack. If they could understand the Cambodian, they'd have a stroke on top of that.
yeah, but then it was a sexual joke I told to this colleague as he was doing something, and I told the joke to him. I'll tell you in the private chat on what the joke was. You probably would either laugh at it or be disappointed at me.
Oh, this is bound to be good. And I guess Gorilla is thinking the water will start receding by Thursday. Well, hopefully you can dry out in the next week or so, Gorilla. Surprised we still have 6 people watching after that political rant. That is not a bad joke. An air gun and a blowjob joke is mild. I mean, you didn't even mention anybody's mother.
Nope. Yeah, then after I said that a few days or weeks, then he did not want to work around me, and then I sort of had to stop my authority on him, and he got so hurt about that, and then I got called to the office, and I got fired for that.
Oh, those sons of bitches just can't take a joke.
Yeah, I gotta say that the colleagues I worked, we said actually equal or worse shit to each other. That was, and plus, the problem was I was too relaxed because I was used to working very relaxed with my colleagues, and I probably did not notice him as a newbie at that point. So I just said the stupid joke to him. I was too relaxed,
Oh, yeah.
and I let my mouth go.
Yeah, you always have to be careful around those new people. Fortunately, nowadays, you never know if any of them are actually a plant or just looking to score a lawsuit. That's the reason when I have new people in, one of the first things I do, I take them up to the Cambodian and, can you take this for 8 hours a day? If not, bye.
And what do they usually say?
Well, we have a turnover rate of maybe I'd say 4 out of 10. The people that actually stick around for more than a month. But when you get them to stick around, they can do good work.
Yeah, and you can become good colleagues too, and actually crack jokes at each other too.
Yeah.
I mean, how should I put this? I am naturally an asshole, but if you're able to handle my bashing and to see through it, then you know I'm actually a nice guy at heart.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much the same way. It's when I tell you to take that pallet jack, turn it sideways way, and stick it up your monkey ass, I mean that in a very constructive way.
Yeah, and I think I was one actually the good trainers on my shift actually taught the new employees how to do their jobs more efficiently. Like I tell them, look, don't work harder, work smarter, and try not to make a mess of things, okay? Because if you make a mess and you fall behind, then people have to pick up the slack and all that, and try not to make a mess, and then make sure everything is somewhat in order in your area. Then you'll be good to keep track of everything. Just don't make a mess of everything. Work smarter and make sure you do everything somewhat correctly. Don't cause more problems than you need to for everyone.
Yeah. Use your brain. That's all I ask. Use your brain. Don't just see what's in front of you and react. You're going to be here for 8 hours. Think about what's going to happen over those 8 hours. Are you going to need something? Are you going to need to make any type of adjustments. Plan that stuff out. Everything will keep running nice and smooth, and you won't feel like you're being buried in an avalanche when things actually do happen.
Or, have the boss on you 24/7 to nag you on. Tell you to pick up the, or they tell you to pick up the pace, then you get annoyed at the boss, and you snap at the boss, and you get fired for being irritated or agitated for always being in a mess or always screwing things up on yourself, and then you have the boss there to make it even worse for you.
Yeah. More importantly, I don't have to come all the way over from my station to help you fix a problem that you should have saw coming 2.5 hours ago.
Yeah, just make things easier for everyone, and you're able to get through the day faster and more efficiently. And then you may not like your job, but at least you're not frustrated and you leave angry.
Yeah. It's actually very simple work if you pay attention and plan ahead.
And just maintain your surroundings mainly too.
Yeah. Don't leave stuff scattered all over. We have desks for a reason. Stuff even has places marked for stuff on that desk. So you know exactly where it is. You need it, grab it right there.
Or better yet, just make sure you keep track of all your crap. That way you know where it is and you know where to grab it.
Yeah. So you're not, oh, I need some tape. Where in this whole place can I find tape? 3 feet to your left. You don't need to go roaming around like this is the freaking Odyssey to find tape. 3 feet to your left.
And we want to change subjects, and yet we keep going to job stuff and political stuff. But then again, if you want to talk about it, I just bring it up and we chat along. I tell about my experiences, you tell about yours, and it's always nice to listen to a fellow person that actually has gone through some of the experiences I have.
Yeah. And I think I'm small enough that YouTube isn't going to automatically see and say, oh my God, they're talking about real stuff and real problems. Must destroy.
What else can we talk about? Trying to think about different subjects, because if nothing, you may end the stream early. There's not much left for us to talk about.
No, we got through a better chunk of the 2 hours I was planning.
Yeah, but trying to think of other subjects you want to possibly talk to chew out another 15 to 20 minutes, unless you want to wrap up a little early. You have any other subjects you want to talk about?
Unless you can think of something like sci-fi or entertainment related that I can think of.
Oh, if you want to try to talk about Star Trek or Star Wars, or maybe if you're a fan of Battlestar Galactica, the 2.0 version, we could talk about that.
Not such a huge fan of 2.0. There was only one guy on the entire show who knew how to act. Outside of almost, they might as well rated everyone from community college acting classes.
Well, to me, the 2.0 is the one I like. I mean, I never seen the original Battlestar Galactica 1978 or 80 version. And this is you going, oh, you sure you did not see the original? Shame on you, boy. You should see the original. It's far superior than the 2.0. Oh, well, I'm not as old as you guys, so the 2000 version is the one I grew up with or heard of. So I know that stuff better than you guys know about the 1981.
Yeah, Well, in all honesty, it was canceled before even I was born. So there's no reason for you to have come across it naturally.
Unless it was on cable or satellite TV as reruns.
Yeah. But at some point, give the original a chance. It's not really dramatic. It's just regular sci-fi fun.
And the Critical Drinker is here to pop in and say hi. On the Critical
Critically
Thinker.
thinking and drinking. How you doing?
Yeah,
Greetings from X chat friends.
Do you have two guns for us to shoot both of us, or just one right now, judging by your avatar?
No guns. Yeah, double fisting the shots.
Yeah, from what I hear, what's the name of that movie? Tombstone. That's a good movie, and that he was the best actor in that movie. Mike Kilmer, or whatever that actor's name, that plays that character, that he has as an avatar.
Val Kilmer?
Yeah. Oh, we're talking about various subjects. Critical Thinker.
Yeah, a lot of stuff I'm surprised I actually got away with.
Yeah, we're trying to think about a last subject to wrap up the stream instead of Resolution trying to call it early, trying to come up with a subject he wants to talk about.
Yeah, we spent a good chunk of the time talking about immigration and workforce. Two subjects that I know YouTube absolutely loves.
Yeah, sarcasm is overnight in Resolute Germ.
Yeah, trying to find something that end on a happy note.
Yeah, like maybe Star Trek or Critical Trigger. Well, in the last 30 minutes or so, we've been talking about so-called real world stuff, but before that, we were talking about nerd stuff. So if you want to try to change the subject for us in the chat, you go ahead and try to do that if you want to.
Yeah, open to any topics.
And if you have a link in the in one of the Twitter friend groups, you probably can join if you want to, if you have a link to it. Let's see here. So you're not really a BSG.
Is there anything new coming out that you're looking forward to?
Well, I gotta check the movie list. I really don't pay attention to the movie list. I gotta check the movie list online.
Yeah, to be honest, I haven't really looked forward to anything so far. I hear the Bad Boys 4 was okay.
Yeah, it's okay. It's a callback to the late 90s to early 2000s from what I hear. It's stuck in that time zone area as a movie. Yeah, Inside Out 2, for what I hear, is a good movie from Disney, ironically.
Making a lot of money, but to be honest, when I watched it, I had to stop and go back a couple of times because it is cringy at parts. It's nice and has heartwarming moments, but it's kind of like the first one. It's mixed in with a fair bit of cringe.
Yeah, from what I hear, instead of happy being the almighty one, now it's anxiety that takes over that position. From what I see in the trailers, is that correct?
Anxiety sort of takes over. Sadness's role from the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, from what I see from the trailer, the new motions kick out the old ones, and then the old ones have to find their way back. From what I hear. And learn how to
on the boys caught up through Episode 3.
This may be a controversial movie, but have you seen the Mad Max movie, the third movie, Furiosa? I mean, people say it's to bad to okay. Have you seen the movie?
The Furiosa, no, I didn't bother. I didn't like Fury Road, so I have no desire whatsoever to see Furiosa.
Have you seen Dune Part 2? Because I haven't.
Same thing. I saw the original Dune. I read some of the books, and I have no interest in the Dune franchise. No spoilers past 3. I didn't believe they were past episode 3 for the latest season.
Well, from what I see on the movie list, there's a new Omen coming out either just now or later this year. The first Omen.
Why do we need another Omen?
Then there's a Ryan Reynolds movie called If. It's a mixed review movie.
Oh yeah, the animated one. I've been meaning to watch that one, but haven't really had the time or the desire to.
Critical Thinker, which TV show are you talking about?
The Boys.
I was talking about the movie Bad Boys, to clarify.
Yeah, he did a space about the latest season earlier. So he's all caught up.
Have you seen a Netflix movie called Atlas?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Well, it's a Jennifer Lopez movie. I would say the movie's okay, but then some people say that movie is terrible or bad. But to me, if you like sci-fi action with a okay storyline into it, then you may find, or you may just find it as a guilty pleasure. But to me, it's an okay movie.
Yeah, it's Jennifer Lopez. You got to manage your expectations. You're not exactly going to get blockbuster material with her.
Yeah, then there's a new movie called Alien Romulus coming out later this year. You think you may see that one?
Maybe.
Which means I gotta renew my Alien list on my YouTube channel.
And they have Transformers 1. Have you heard about that one?
No, but the trailer looks good. I may see it online.
Yeah, I believe that comes out in September.
And I may see it depending on how the reviews are too. I only see movies if the views are good. If they're mixed to bad, I may not see the movie though.
And good night, Jim.
Good night, Jim.
Once I saw the pronoun scene with the robot, I didn't want to see it. Does that Atlas have a...
Yes.
Okay, so won't be watching that.
Well, to me, and when that scene came out, I was like, whatever. You just move on, please.
No, I
don't really care.
In the real world of... You are obviously a grown dude. Oh, I'm they, them. And you're wearing a little flowery blouse. No. I don't deal with that in the real world. I sure as hell ain't gonna deal with that when I'm trying to be entertained.
Yeah, well, Resolute, when it comes to those things, I'm very apathetic towards things because I really don't give a damn anymore about all that stuff. Like, if it's in there, like, okay, whatever, just move on to the next scene, please. I really don't care about that. Move on, please.
Give it another 20 years.
Or I just roll my eyes saying, okay, I get it. Move on, please. It's annoying. Just move on to the next scene, please.
Gents, thanks for letting me bend your ears tonight. Enjoy your night, fellas. You have a good night too, Critically Thinking.
Good night, Crazy.
Thanks for stopping by. And
Yeah,
if you don't follow Critically Thinking and Drinking on X, very good follow. He does a lot of spaces.
Yeah, and then there's another movie coming out later this year called Venom: The Last Dance. The trailer looks good. I may see that one online, but then again, the one that may tip it in the favor was if it has okay to good reviews.
I still have to see Venom 2. I've been meaning to get around to that, but I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Oh, they're making a remake or a update of the movie Twisters that came out in 1996. I never seen the movie, and honestly, I really don't care about that movie. Oh no, I may have seen it on TV or cable, but beyond that, scenes of it, I haven't really seen the 1996 one, so I really don't care about Twister movies. And there's another movie coming out later this year called A Quiet Place Day One, basically a prequel to the Quiet Place movies.
I never got those movies.
And then
aliens have super hearing, but if you speak, they can hear you, but they can't hear your heartbeat or any of the other hundreds of noises that you're making.
Oh, the aliens have to have a weakness of some kind to fight back or to have the protagonist survive, unless it's like basically a Mount Everest full of plot armor for the protagonist.
Yeah.
And I seen part amount of web on Netflix. I cannot even get. I got about halfway through it, then I called it quits. That movie. That movie was bad.
You got through more of it than me.
I think it's right when it's. I'm not sure what I got when I was watching it. I had this nagging feeling in the back of my head saying, "It's okay to bad. It's okay to bad. It's okay to bad." In my head constantly, it's like my brain was battling. It's okay, but then it's bad. But then it's okay, then it's bad. So which is it? So I just stopped halfway through, saying, "You know what? The bad side of my brain saying, yeah, it is pretty bad. Just say it's bad and just leave the movie." And there's a cartoon Lord of the Rings movie coming out later this year called The Lord of the Rings, The War for the Rohirrim. Then there's the next movie in the Despicable Me franchise, Despicable Me 4.
Oh, that one should be good.
It depends if they have enough material for the franchise to go with. Unless they probably just be recycling ideas from the previous movies.
As long as it's not Kid Groot, they should be fine. I've liked the Despicable Me one so far. The Kid Groot one, not so much.
And then there's if you ever seen the movie Die Hard 2, or Die Hard, the first movie with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Kevin Hart, I think it was, or maybe I'm thinking about a different movie, but Die Hard 2, Die Harder, it's coming out later this year if you're somewhat vaguely interested, maybe. And then I have seen a review of the first movie of this. Now it's a franchise, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. From what I hear, the first movie was crap to the nth degree, and the reviews on this movie, it's marginally better, but it's still a bad movie for what I hear.
Oh yeah, it's Winnie the Pooh meets Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so
yeah.
It was never meant to be good.
Yeah, then there's if you ever seen the trailers on YouTube, right? The new Beetlejuice movie in the making. or a
Oh
sequel
god,
for
that's
it.
gonna be. Yeah, I am not looking forward to that. From everything I've seen about that, it looks like he had that suit sitting in his car since 1989, and he just put it back on and walked onto the set.
Yeah, then there's another sequel to a well, you either love this movie or hate this movie. The original Gladiator with I forgot the main character's name. The actor that plays the main
Russell
character.
Crowe.
Yeah, if you like that movie, then you may find marginally interest in the sequel that's coming out later this year, Gladiator 2. But there's no trailer out yet.
It is a fine movie, but they didn't really leave any room for a sequel.
Well, the sequel for what the synthesis is, it's just one sentence really. You follow the son of the main character.
Well, he's dead, so
Yeah, you follow.
that's why he had to kill the emperor. The emperor killed his wife and child. Maybe if they're following the nephew.
Unless there's gonna be a retcon in the movie.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever seen the movie Alucard, it's a mixed review to bad movie for what the reviewers say. If you ever seen that movie, have you?
No, I haven't.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and there's a remake of The Crow coming out later this year.
Oh, great! Another half-assed Crow.
And then
Are we talking Alucard Castlevania or Alucard from
which
else?
Which one are you talking to? Or
You're
to
saying the Alucard movie.
Oh, I thought I mean Argyle. I mean Argyle. Yeah, that one.
Argyle. Okay. But that sounded a little bit suspicious because the only Alucards I ever heard of are vampires.
Well, that name it looks odd to me, so I just said the name that sounds closest to me, but I'm terrible with names that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, that's okay. I'd love to see an Alucard movie.
Well, if you ever
Bring
seen
if you can bring Hellsing, live action Hellsing movie, that would be great.
judging by how the anime show is, I highly doubt that, unless they're willing to pay through the nose for special effects.
Oh yeah, few too many Nazis too. Hey, Cody guy, how you doing?
They could make a good substitute for the villains. If you don't want to do Yahtzees. But then there's a lot of it's gonna be a vampire movie. So, well, do you know any good vampire movies that has you probably think about older movies, but well, if you want to do a Van Helsing live action, it's gonna have a lot of blood, a lot of limbs flying around, a lot of gunshots, and a lot of swords thrown around. That's gonna leave a very gory mess, and you gotta have a lot of money to do that.
Yeah, and NC-17 rating.
Yeah, and that's why if they were doing a movie like that, that's probably what's going to kill it. You gotta have a more accessible audience rating, and they say Red R is probably the best you probably can do if you don't want to make the movie to flop outright. Which means you gotta cut out a lot of the gore that makes it MC-17, probably. Yeah, which means
half the stuff they do in that not exactly child safe, no matter how you present it.
I mean, I have seen the TV show you're talking about, but I've seen the ultimate version of that TV show. And for what I hear, the ultimate version is actually a lot more bloody.
That's the good version.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it's a pretty damn good fun ride. The TV show is. It is.
Oh yeah, that Irish priest too. Great antagonist.
You mean Anderson?
Yep. Doesn't give a damn about anything. He
Yeah,
just wants to be the Lord's vengeance.
Yeah, and you know what?
Specifically upon Alucard.
Yeah, and you know what? What just realized that show has a lot of religious themes in it too. It's more like a religious series conflict between basically the devil Alucard and the Holy Protector. But to us, he's the villain. But in his perspective, he's the hero of mankind.
Well, yeah, and that the church definitely thinks they're the hero. They're as screwed up as Alucard, though.
Yeah, but then again, if you look at the history, oh boy, the church is just as guilty as war crimes, especially during the World War II era when they allied with certain movements. They just have as much as blood, if not more, on their hands.
Yeah, to a point. The church was a little bit surrounded in World War II, though. They're sort of puppets of Mussolini at the point.
I'm talking about the other guy, too, in Germany, too.
Well, yeah. They were a puppet of Mussolini, and Mussolini was the puppet of old Uncle Adolf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say that out of the three powers, Germany probably was the most powerful than Japan and Italy. I mean, Mussolini just screwed up his country by going to other foreign wars. Plus, his country didn't have a very strong industrial base to it for what historians said during that time. Italy was more of an agricultural country, not an industrial power like Germany was, or Japan was at that time.
They were Germany's little buddy that say, "Oh, can I tag along?" He said, "Oh yeah, sure." And then the Germans regretted letting them tag along because they always had to cover their ass
or bail them out. Yes, and then, well, if you watch any of the documentaries about during that time, especially if you ever heard of the animator or the YouTube channel Armchair Historian, he goes into further details on why Italy was so incompetent. Their leadership was mainly incompetent, and they didn't have enough equipment to fight the war.
Yeah, they were all around completely unprepared and unqualified to do what they were doing. But they kept going up to the Germans and say, "I can handle it. I can do it just as well as anybody." And then pretty much the next moment, "Help me, Germany, help me. The Americans are killing me."
Yeah. Well, this is kind of a dark note to end on, but if you want to go ahead and wrap it up, we're approaching the 2-hour mark.
Oh, yeah. If you have anything you want to shout out before we go.
All right. So all to your viewers and chatters on YouTube and Twitter and other outlets, I'm Sci-Fi Sit Dan. I usually cover different sci-fi TV shows or movies. I do cover other subjects in different fields, depending how well versed I'm in those. On my YouTube channel, I cover different universe crossover ideas. I do have movie lists of my favorite movies. If you want further information, check my YouTube channel. It's the same name as the title on the panel right here. Just type it in and my channel should come up. I do cross streams with other people if they will allow it, like Resolute Germ and Gorilla does. I do my own live streams on Saturdays, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. I may change that on Resolute and Gorilla's schedules if they conflict with that to not overlap with their audience. I haven't restarted them yet. I may do that later. And I try to put on a YouTube video, a new one on my YouTube channel Monday morning every week to entertain my audience. And every new subscriber like and comment on my videos encourages me to make more content material for you guys. It's always nice to hang out with my fellow community members like Resolute Germ, Gorilla, Pops, among others, if they will allow me to come on and chat or chat in their chat. It's always nice to come on. Beyond that, I'll turn it over to Resolute Germ Porter to give him his weekly forecast and his outro.
And well, unfortunately, there is no weekly forecast. I'll just have to do streams when I can. I'll try to pop on close to the regular schedule, but for the foreseeable future, at least, the Saturday morning cartoons won't be happening because, work. But I'll try to do at least the Nerd Night roundtables and any other little recorded stuff. But thanks everyone for stopping by. I'm actually surprised with some of the stuff we talked about. The number was actually as high as it was. But thanks for being here. Take care, everybody.
Good night, everyone.